Hi children, welcome to Pebbles. But today let's see about the strokes, the basic strokes what we learn in our school for the basic alphabets. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഇന്ന് ക്ലാസ്സിൽ നമ്മൾ സ്ട്രോക്സ് പഠിക്കാറുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ അത് എങ്ങനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ എഴുതുമ്പോൾ എങ്ങനെയാണ് പറയേണ്ടതെന്ന് നമുക്കൊന്ന് കാണാം. Standing line, sleeping line, this way, that way. അപ്പോൾ ഇതാണ് ബേസിക്കായിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ആൽഫബറ്റ്സിൽ നമുക്ക് പഠിക്കാറുള്ള സ്ട്രോക്സ്. സോ വൺസ് അഗെയിൻ, സ്റ്റാൻഡിങ് ലൈൻ, സ്ലീപ്പിംഗ് ലൈൻ, ദിസ് വേ. ദിസ് ഇസ് ഓൾസോ കോൾഡ് ആസ് റൈറ്റ് സ്ലോപ്പ്, ലെഫ്റ്റ് സ്ലോപ്പ്. പിന്നെ C curve, B curve, zigzag lines. അപ്പോൾ ഇതൊക്കെയാണ് ബേസിക് ആയിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ആൽഫബറ്റ്സ് നമ്മൾ പഠിക്കുമ്പോൾ ചെയ്യാറുള്ള ബേസിക് സ്ട്രോക്സ്. അപ്പോൾ ഇത് യൂസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് നമ്മൾ എങ്ങനെയാണ് ആൽഫബറ്റ്സ് നമ്മൾ എഴുതാന്ന് ഞാൻ പറയാം. സോ നമ്മൾ ആൽഫബറ്റ്സ് നമ്മൾ പഠിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. A to Z വരെ നമ്മൾ പഠിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. ക്യാപിറ്റൽ ലെറ്റേഴ്സ് പഠിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. വി ഹാവ് ലേൺ ക്യാപിറ്റൽ ലെറ്റേഴ്സ്, വി ഹാവ് ലേൺ സ്മോൾ ലെറ്റേഴ്സ്. സോ ഹൗ ടു സേ, ഹൗ ടു യൂസ് ദ സ്ട്രോക്സ് ആൻഡ് ഹൗ ഡു വി സേ ഇറ്റ്, ലെറ്റ്സ് സീ ഇറ്റ് ടുഡേ. സോ ദിസ് വേ, ദാറ്റ് വേ ആൻഡ് സ്മോൾ സ്ലീപ്പിംഗ് ലൈൻ. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ക്യാപിറ്റൽ എ എഴുതുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഇങ്ങനെയാണ് പറയേണ്ടത്. This way, that way, small sleeping line. Next, we are now trying to do the capital letters. So next alphabet, standing line, small B curve and a big B curve. So that is B. So we know to write the alphabets, but when we are writing it, how do we say it? ഇങ്ങനെയാണ് പറയേണ്ടത്. Standing line, small B curve and a big B curve. Next one, C curve, that is the letter C. Next one, standing line and a big B curve. So that is the capital D. Next letter endana? A is over B, C, D. The next letter is E. So how do we write E? Standing line, small sleeping line, small sleeping line and a little more small sleeping line. So that is capital E. So now next letter, standing line, sleeping line and a small sleeping line. So that is the letter F. So when we are writing each letter, we have to say the strokes and then write it. So now again let me repeat it. I am repeating once again. Standing line, a big sleeping line and a small sleeping line. So that is the letter F. Next is G. C curve, a big C curve and small sleeping line. That's how we write the capital G. The next letter is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The next letter is H. How do we write H? How do we say it? It is standing line and a small sleeping line. So that is the letter H. So now let me show you the next letters. So when you are writing, നമ്മൾ alphabets എഴുതുമ്പോൾ we have to say the strokes. Strokesന്റെ പേര് പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ എഴുതേണ്ടത്. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ H വരെ ചെയ്തു. So let me do the next letter. So can you tell me A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and next was the letter A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. So the next letter we were learning I. So again let me repeat. Small sleeping line, a long standing line and a small sleeping line. So that is capital I. So when we are writing the letters, always say the strokes and then write it so that it is very clear for us. Next letter is J. How do we write J? It is a capital J. So we have to say sleeping line and a standing line and an upward curve. A small upward curve. It goes up like that. Up like an umbrella. So once again, a small sleeping line, standing line and a upward curve. So that is capital J. The next letter is letter K. How do we write? Standing line, this way and that way. So standing line, this way and that way. So that is capital K. Next letter, let's see the next one, the letter L. So after K it is L. So standing line and a small sleeping line. So that is the letter, that's a capital L. So now how do we write it? How do we say it? A long standing line and a small sleeping line. This line is small and this is long. So we say long sleeping line and small standing line and a sleeping line. So that is capital L. Next we see the letter M. So that is again long sleeping line, this way, that way and a standing line. So that is capital M. Let's see the next letter. So how do we say N? Standing line, this way and a standing line. So we will always have to use the strokes and write the letters. So next you know O. It's a full round C curve and a B curve. You know the curves, I had told you, C curve and the B curve. So we have to use the two curves and write the letter O. So when you are writing the capital O, C curve first and then the B curve. So it's become O, capital O. Next we can see the letter P. How do we write P? Standing line and a small B curve and a small B curve, that is P. Next letter O. How do we write O? Same like O. You have the C curve and the B curve and the small that way line. So that is the capital Q. The next letter R. How do we write the capital R? It is standing line, a small B curve and that way. So that's how we write the capital R. Okay. So when you're writing the each letters, നമ്മൾ ഓരോ letters എഴുതുമ്പോഴും അതിന്റെ strokes എന്താണ് അത് നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞു എഴുതണം. അത് പറഞ്ഞു എഴുതുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് formations തെറ്റൂല. So when you're writing the letters, we have to tell the strokes. നമ്മൾ strokes ഇങ്ങനെ പറഞ്ഞു എഴുതുമ്പോൾ നമുക്കത് എഴുതേണ്ട formations നമുക്ക് correct ആയിട്ട് കിട്ടും. So നമ്മൾ R കഴിഞ്ഞു. We have just seen till R. The next letter is S. So that is again a small C curve and a big B curve. The S goes like this, a small C curve and a big C curve. So that is S. Next let's see the capital T. Sleeping line and a long standing line. Next let's see the letter U. That's a capital U. So straight standing line, small up curve and again a standing line. So that's how we do the capital U. So once again I will tell, when you are writing U, let's see the formation. So how do we say? Small standing line, a small up curve and a standing line. So when you are writing, say and write the strokes. Let's see how do we write the letter capital V. This way, that way. Very easy. This way, that way. So that is the letter V. Now let's see the letter W. Okay. So we have to always use the strokes and say the letters. And let's see how do we write W. This way, that way, this way and that way. So that is W. You have to start from here, go down and go up, again go down and go up. So when you are doing this, you say this way, that way, this way and that way. This stroke is called the zigzag stroke. We are using zigzag stroke for W. So we know how to write the zigzag stroke. We are using the zigzag stroke for the W letter. And let's see, we are now going to write the next letter, that is X. X is very easy, this way and that way. X letter is very easy. Now next is Y. That's a capital Y. How do we write capital Y? That is very tricky. You have to go small that way and this way. So that is the capital Y. Next we have the Z. So we otherwise also say it's Z. So how do you write the letter Z? A small sleeping line that way and small sleeping line. So that will be the capital letter for Z. So these are the way how we use the strokes and write the alphabets. So when we are writing the alphabets, we should not, നമ്മൾ എഴുതുമ്പോൾ alphabets എഴുതുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഇതേപോലെ പറഞ്ഞ് എഴുതുമ്പോൾ അതിൻ്റെ ഫോർമേഷൻ നമ്മളൊന്ന് എ എങ്ങനെ വരും, ബിന് എന്താ ചെയ്യുക. അപ്പം ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞല്ലോ W, when you are writing W, we are using the zigzag curve. When we are writing the B, it's a B curve. നമ്മൾ U എന്താ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്? We are using the upward curve. Where, how do we write the upward curve? See, that is the upward curve. We have the downward curve. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഈ സ്ട്രോക്സ് ഒക്കെ നമ്മൾ ആദ്യം നമ്മൾ പഠിക്കുന്നത് സ്ട്രോക്സ് ആണ്. അപ്പോൾ ആ സ്ട്രോക്സ് ഒക്കെ വരുമ്പോൾ എവിടെയാണ് സ്ട്രോക്സ് വരുന്നത്? നമ്മൾ Q is a beautiful formation of two strokes. എന്താണ്? C curve and a B curve. So that is the formation for the letter Q and O. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ we are just seeing what are the different strokes we are using for the capital letters to write. So when you are writing this, we always say the strokes and then write the alphabets. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ strokes കണ്ടിരുന്നു. We had seen the strokes. നമ്മൾ strokes ഉപയോഗിച്ചിട്ടാണ്. We are using the strokes for the formation of letters. നമ്മൾ letters എഴുതുമ്പോൾ സ്ട്രോക്സ് പഠിച്ച് അത് നന്നായി എഴുതി അത് നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ട് എഴുതണം. അപ്പോഴാണ് we have to say and write. Only then ലെറ്റേഴ്സിൻ്റെ ഫോർമേഷൻസ് നന്നായിട്ട് വരുന്നത്. അപ്പം നമ്മൾ ടുഡേ വി വിൽ സീ ഹൗ ടു യൂസ് ദ സ്ട്രോക്സ്. വാട്ട് ആർ ദ സ്ട്രോക്സ്? സ്ലീപ്പിംഗ് ലൈൻ, സ്റ്റാൻഡിംഗ് ലൈൻ, ദിസ് വേ. You know the strokes: sleeping line, standing line, this way, that way, upward curve, downward curve, zigzag lines. So these are the basic strokes. You know the basic strokes. Idakka use cheyidittu we are using the strokes and we are learning to write the alphabets, formation of alphabets. Now today let's see using the strokes. നമ്മൾ ഈ സ്ട്രോക്സ് ഉപയോഗിച്ചിട്ട് വേറെ എന്തൊക്കെ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും? We can make beautiful shapes. ഷേപ്സിനൊക്കെ വരുന്നത് ഈ സ്ട്രോക്സ് ഉപയോഗിച്ചിട്ടാണ് we are doing the shapes. Let's see the first shape, square. You know the square. It is sleeping line, standing line and a standing line. So that's a square shape. Now we are learning in number work different shapes നമ്മൾ പഠിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. So everything is based on the എല്ലാ ഷേപ്സും ഈ സ്ട്രോക്സ് ഉപയോഗിച്ചിട്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ ഇന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കുക. അപ്പോൾ അതെങ്ങനെയാണ്? ഫസ്റ്റ് ദ സ്ക്വയർ. Next we are seeing the triangle shape. You know how to draw the triangle. This way, that way, sleeping line. That's a triangle shape. So we are using all the simple strokes what we have seen here. നമ്മൾ ഇവിടെ കാണുന്ന simple strokes ഉപയോഗിച്ചിട്ടാണ് shapes എന്ന്. So that's a square, that's a triangle. Next let's see the rectangle shape. Long sleeping line and a small standing line. That is rectangle shape. Square nammal varchu. The next is triangle. The next is rectangle shape. Let's see how do we draw the circle. That is the C curve and a big B curve. So that's a beautiful circle shape. So we have seen the 4 shapes. Ini where endakka shapes undakkan pettum? These are the basic shapes we learned in LKG. What are the different shapes? As you go to UKG, we learn the diamond shape. So that is this way, that way, this way, that way. So that will be the diamond shape. And now let me tell you how do we draw the hexagon shape. Hexagon shape la endakka strokes aanu varunathu namukku nokkam. Sleeping line, this way, that way, this way, and that way. That is a beautiful hexagon. It has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. Nammal ee diamond shape la you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. So when we are seeing the shapes, when we are learning the shapes, namakku oru shape in sides undavum. Square in you have the 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. For the triangle, we have only 3 sides for the triangle. 1, 2, 3. Same way, rectangle, 4 sides in the circle has got no sides. It's a full round circle, round shape. Padana sides namukku count cheyan pettula. Okay, now we saw the square, triangle, rectangle, circle. Here we are seeing diamond, hexagon. What is the next shape we can draw using strokes? Pentagon shape. How do we draw pentagon? I will show you. This way, that way, sleeping line, that way, and this way. So that is a pentagon shape. Pentagon shape la etra sides undu adu kaanan it will look like a diamond. Mold kanda diamond shape aayitundavum, but it is not a diamond shape. It is a pentagon shape. Adinte sides ethrayanu? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has got 5 sides. So that is a pentagon shape. Appo nammal ee strokes upayogichittu endakkiyanu vera shapes ullathu? A simple shape, all you know, it's a heart shape. That's a downward curve. Downward curve use cheyiditana we are drawing a heart shape. So these are the basic, nammal ee strokes upayogichittu, these are the basic shapes what we have learned. So this is the basic shapes we all know. Appo ee strokes upayogichittu you can create more pictures also. So now I will just show you. So using the strokes, normally basic strokes vechittu we can make all beautiful pictures also. So now I am just giving you a small example. These strokes upayogichittu we can make a this way, that way, sleeping line, standing line, and a sleeping line. So that becomes a house. So we have used a triangle shape, we have used a square shape. Appa strokes upayogichittu you can make pictures also. You can make the normal sun view make. Nammal oru picture varakkumbol we make the sun. So we C curve and the B curve. For that makes a circle. What does the circle stroke? It's a C curve and a B curve. So nammal strokes we saw formations. These strokes vechittana we are writing the letters. Same way, using the strokes we are creating beautiful different shapes. Shapes matramalla we can make more pictures. Namukku ee strokes upayogichittu beautiful aayittu vere pictures undakam. Appo njan ivide oru simple aayittu oru picture aanu I am just trying to show. So using shapes we can make more pictures. Namukku kore oru we have to sit and think what are the different pictures we can make using the shapes. So these are the basic strokes upayogichittulla basic shapes. Idu nammalellam try cheya, idepole varakkam, and we can also make it more creative. In pictures undakkan pettum. These same strokes upayogichittu beautiful pictures undakkan pettum. Nan adu next class la paranju thera. Thank you.